Hey everybody! Today's topic is blending, specifically in a choral setting, but I actually began playing instruments before I was in choirs, so some of this actually will apply to instrumental blending and tuning as well. The first big thing is something that I've noticed in my experiences through life and singing in different groups, is that if you can distinctly hear yourself, and if you stand out, that means you're doing something that is preventing you from blending with the rest of the group. So basically, yeah, I find for me personally, my blend is best when I'm no longer aware of myself and what I sound like, and all I can hear is the group as a whole, because I've been able to blend perfectly with the group. So a lot of times, along with that, we want to make sure that we remember that if we sound different from the people around us, we kind of have to take the approach of all for one and one for all. Don't always assume that you're right and everyone else must be out of tune. Maybe it's actually you, and maybe you should consider blending with everyone around you. And it's also possible too, maybe you have perfect pitch and everyone else around you is wrong. Basically, the way an ensemble works is group consensus. So even if you're sure that you're right, you want to make sure that that you kind of blend with everyone else around you. Definitely, I mean, the most important thing, of course, is singing the right pitch, being in tune that way. But that's kind of, I mean, that's by the time you reach a level where you're singing in choirs regularly, that's kind of very secondary. Most of the time, you will be singing the correct pitch, but you could still sound different. You could be exactly in tune, but then there are many other things that go beyond just the simple pitch of the note that will affect your blend. Beyond that, kind of also sort of with pitch, is rhythm. Obviously, if you're not singing in rhythm with everyone else, you're going to stick out, you're going to sound different. So everyone has to execute the consonants in the exact right moment, otherwise it's going to sound a little bit off. The next big thing with singing is having uniform vowel shapes throughout the ensemble. This is one of the hardest things for a group to kind of learn. I mean, because obviously there's no magic thing that the conductor can go, now you will blend, and suddenly everyone sounds exactly the same. And surprisingly, I know it kind of sounds counterintuitive, but for most people in America, where we're singing from, it's a lot easier to have blend with the foreign languages that you do not speak on a daily basis, because most often you learn every single word as a group. The conductor or maybe your voice teacher will speak them to you first, and you imitate, call and response. You repeat what they say, and then you're able to say the vowels. A lot of times, since we grew up speaking English, we all have our own personal understanding and dialect of English. So unless we learn phonetics, the International Phonetic Alphabet, unless you've been trained in that, a lot of times you don't even think of English as, what vowel am I actually singing? English is actually a very hard language to sing because we have a lot of diphthongs, a lot of, either two or more vowels that go together to form a vowel sound. So you think, when we're blending, if you're, singing, say the vowel ooh, if one person is making an ooh sound and someone else is making like a ooh sound, obviously you're not going to blend, even if you're singing exactly on the right pitch, to the exact, quarter tone, you're exactly right. Sometimes if you just have a different vowel shape, that's going to make it sound different. So a lot of times the conductor is going to have to deal with that. But just think about, your vowel shape compared to the people around you. That might help you with blending. Kind of along with that, not only the vowel shape, but the tone. Of course, there's a whole range of tones from, kind of like the e to the, which is kind of, extreme ranges, and I don't think anyone should actually sing like that. But basically going from one to the other, you can see that there's a huge variation. And if the people on either side of you are singing with a different tone than you, obviously it's going to be hard to blend, even if you're singing the exact same pitch. And once again, it's going to be vowel shape. If all your vowels are the same, then maybe make sure you all have the same kind of tall tone, if that's what the conductor is looking for, of course. And if you can kind of get a uniform tone, then that's going to help you sound well when you're blending. Another thing is dynamics. This, I find, especially changes depending on the group. Like for me, as an example, when I'm singing in singers, it's very different sense of blending and dynamics than if with the Black Bear Men's Chorus or Oratorio. Any choir you sing with, any group, any ensemble, even if it's a quartet or something, it's going to sound different. Your dynamic's going to have to change and adapt to the group around you. Even if you can sing louder than everyone around you, that means you shouldn't. That's basically, I don't know if that's obvious, but just because you can sing louder, it's more important that you sound at the same dynamic level as everyone around you, even if that maybe isn't your loudest. I know a lot of people, especially people that are new to singing in choirs, they try to, they'll just kind of belt it out there as loud as they can, and that's not appropriate if it's not what the rest of the choir is doing. And then again, singing quietly, some people may be able to sing quieter than others, but you got to kind of bring it to the same level. I know it's almost even harder to kind of stay in a blending sense when you're singing quiet, because if someone sticks out when everyone else is quiet, it's going to be really, really obvious. So kind of going back to what I said in the beginning about if you're doing something different, definitely it's going to bring attention to you. Blending is kind of the whole sense of getting away from you and kind of going into the ensemble sort of spirit. And then a kind of a more minor point is kind of vibrato. Obviously, with vibrato, same with dynamics and tone, you have a huge range of you can have the vibrato like the Johnny Mathis, and then you can have some that's the Wagnerian soprano where it's like it's so wide. You have an extreme range of that, and a lot of times you really can't control what you do naturally. But you can be aware of it, I guess, is the point with vibrato. Because sometimes some people do try to put it on, and it doesn't always help. So when you're trying to blend, make sure you're more or less are producing your sound the same way as the person next to you. So these are just a few tips that I've picked up over the years with blend. And basically, obviously make sure same pitch, rhythm, really watch the conductor, make sure it's the same as everyone else. Be conscious of your vowel shape and tone, and your vibrato, just how you're producing your sound. See if it's the same as everyone else. And then dynamics, make sure you adapt your dynamics depending on who you're singing with and the group. And remember, the number one point of blending is you make sure it's not drawing attention to you. You want to think of it as a group sense and not individual sense. So maybe these tips will work for you. I hope they do. And I'll see you soon. Have a terrific weekend. If you're celebrating Easter or Passover, have a good time. If not, then just definitely have a great weekend and enjoy some of the sun we're getting. Take care.